Sutra 4. Yalabdva puman siddho bhavati amrito bhavati tripto bhavati. After obtaining devotion, the devotee becomes perfect, immortal, and extremely satisfied. Devotion is its own fulfillment, and after gaining this wealth, a devotee discovers an unlimited satisfaction in his devotional practice. He does not feel any emptiness thereafter. Shankaracharya states in Shivananda Lahiri, "Let me be born a man or a god, an animal or a tree, a bug, a worm or a bird. I care nothing for external forms, as long as my heart is full of love for your lotus feet." The first point in this aphorism says, after obtaining devotion, the devotee becomes perfect. Once an aspirant reaches this level, he becomes calm, humble, and perfect. The perfection or siddhi in this context does not mean supernatural power. Here, siddhi means the attainment of the Lord. A siddh is one who has attained the ultimate stage of devotion for the Lord. In certain situations, siddhi means supernatural powers, and there are some powers that a devotee may attain as a side effect of devotional practice. But the devotee does not yearn for this fruit. Nowadays, it is a common belief that devotion means attaining superhuman powers, and people are following those persons who attain them. But it is not this siddhi that a devotee acquires when he obtains devotion. One who uses such powers for selfish reasons or personal gain will fall from the path of devotion. Powers may breed arrogance in the person, which is the most dangerous obstacle in one's devotional life. He may consume most of his time in using or demonstrating his siddhis instead of applying himself in devotion. Siddhi, in a devotional context, is perfection in devotion. It is like perfectly boiled rice, which becomes soft, and after this stage it will not revert back to being hard again. In the same way, after attaining devotion, a devotee becomes soft in nature and humble. Arrogance due to wealth and social status, and so forth, vanishes from him. In the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, there are 8 yogic perfections, such as to become extremely small, to become extremely large, to become very heavy, or to acquire anything one desires. But these achievements are material. They are not perfection. Perfection means to regain the soul's true divine form and engage in devotional practice for the Lord. Once, a spiritual master, Gyandev, and his disciple, Namdev, were crossing a desert. After walking some distance, they felt the urge to drink water. Both were thirsty, and luckily they found a well. But the rope and bucket were missing. So the spiritual master used his superhuman powers and went inside the well, drank the water, and returned. Gyandev asked his disciple Namdev to do the same, but the disciple declined. Namdev started to cry and said, "When a devotee of the Lord is thirsty, will the Lord not even quench his thirst?" 2 teardrops fell from his eyes into the well, and the water level rose higher. The disciple was able to drink the water without using any superhuman powers. Here, Namdev is an example of a true siddh devotee. The aspirant should seek the association of a siddh like Namdev, and not be misled in pursuit of supernatural powers, or siddhis. The second part of the aphorism states, the devotee becomes immortal. Immortal does not mean that the body becomes permanent. This is obviously impossible. The common conception of immortality suggests that the body becomes eternally alive. Once an attachment to his physical body completely disappears, the devotee becomes free from the fear of death. When material desires disappear, the notion of mortality ceases to be a reality, and he becomes immortal. The devotee does not yearn to attain any worldly possessions, nor does he have any attachments to them. The idea of possession of objects and attachments to them can become obstacles on this path. When one drowns in the nectar of devotion, he never dies, because this nectar is immortality itself. Devotion is eternal, and one who practices it also becomes eternal. The devotee is always reveling in this love, and this feeling of ecstasy can never be taken away from him. The third part of the aphorism states, "And he becomes extremely satisfied." People can have a tendency to be greedy. There can be an inclination to gain more fame and to earn more wealth, and so forth. A man afflicted with desire can never be satisfied, even if he has everything the world has to offer, including grain, wealth, livestock, and women. Indulgence of desire never satisfies desire, just as pouring butter on fire does not put the fire out, but rather makes it burn more intensely. Srimad Bhagavatam 9.19.13-14. Any sense object that one loves and enjoys will not have a lasting effect. When one is separated from the object, the feelings start to disappear. Suppose one likes the smell of a particular perfume. One will enjoy the scent while the fragrance remains. This feeling lasts only as long as the senses are in contact with the external object. This is not the nature of devotion. Once a devotee has acquired a taste for this devotion, nothing else that he can possibly desire compares to it. Here, Narad explains that after attaining devotion, a devotee does not yearn for anything. He becomes free from all desires. The Bhagavad Gita 6.22 states, "When at last he attains that ultimate joy, he understands that there is nothing more to be attained." After acquiring this bliss, devotees do not wish to perturb their satisfaction. One who takes shelter of the Lord attains devotion, directly experiences Him, and detaches from things unrelated to Him, all in the same instance. Just as a hungry person achieves satisfaction, nourishment, and relief from hunger simultaneously and increasingly with each bite of food he takes. Thus, those who consistently offer Him love are blessed with devotion, detachment, and enlightened understanding of the Lord, and attain supreme peace. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.42-43. When one is in the company of a spiritual master, one finds in him or her the qualities of perfection, immortality, and satisfaction. Pure devotees also exhibit the same characteristics. They do not show superhuman powers, nor do they display numerous desires.